Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to our channel, please check out our other videos, as this will help you understand progress on the project so far. In our last video we cut and finished the stainless steel support frames for our new bonded windows. We then drilled mounting holes and bolted and bonded the frames to the deck. We were then able to test fit the new windows to make sure they fitted and worked as we had hoped. So let's pick up where we left off last week. So both of our stainless steel frames are now in place, bolted and bonded, ready for our bonded windows. So what we need to do now is, next, I've just been talking with Richard, I think we're going to get this sliding roof on. And the reason for that is that we're going to be climbing all over this front here, and what we don't want to do, put the windows in and then damage them. So we're thinking roof rails on first and then glass in afterwards. And here are the formed aluminium roof bars that we've had made. So we had these delivered actually probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, so we just need to unpack these. These are the offcuts, so we obviously won't need those, but these curved pieces here, we need to cut these to length. Okay, so we've cut the first bar and we've just had a quick test fit on the boat, and that fits absolutely perfectly. So we've got our template set up here. This is what was used by the fabricators to form the curve of this. So we've just sat that on there. We've put a little screw in as a stop, and then that allows us to put each one in. We've got a mark here, so we can just mark each one up, and then we can just cut the ends of all the bars. The aluminium roof beams are now all cut to length, and we've also drilled holes through here, so a 6mm hole through here, and then we've popped through a 6mm bolt with a locking nut through here, and we've done the same on this side as well. In fact, what we did was we just fastened these down onto this timber frame just to give us an exact distance between the two, and then we've cut all of them to length and drilled them all through, and that's worked out absolutely perfect. So they're all done now, and we are now using the stainless steel brackets. So originally Richard printed these on a 3D printer, we did a little sample piece, and then we've had those made out of stainless steel, so laser cut, and they all work really well. So now next what we'll do is we'll offer this up on the boat, because this foot here just needs to be very slightly angled. The way that the moulding's done on the boat, I think it's probably tilted over about 1 or 2 degrees. So we'll go and offer this up on the boat, and then what we'll be able to do then is drill through here, oversize that hole, and that'll just give us a little bit of adjustment if we need it when we actually come to fit the rail and all these bars. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a quick test fit of our new track system. So we've had some plastic made to go on the top here. We've got our aluminium rail to sit on top of that, so that'll all be screwed down. Obviously we've got both sides to do, and then hopefully we can also get a rail on and we can check that that slides open and closed okay. So we're down in the workshop and we've got our rail here. This is the Accuride rail, and then we've also had a piece of 40mm plastic made. So this is 5mm deep, so that raises the track up 5mm, which is exactly what we need, and 40mm wide, which is obviously the same width as the track. And then we've got these stainless steel screws which will drop down through. So obviously we'll just need to drill a hole in the plastic, but what we're going to do first is we've got a test piece of fiberglass, and what we're going to do is drill a 3mm, a 3.2 and a 3.5mm hole just to see how well these screws bite into the fiberglass. What we don't want is to do this on the boat and then snap one of these screws because the hole is too small. So a couple of test pieces just to make sure we get the right drill hole size, and then we can do it on the boat and hopefully make no mistakes. Okay, so we've done our test holes and the results were interesting actually. So we've got 2mm here with a little countersink using this cone bit. A little bit tight, but no chipping, worked well. 2mm again, but without the countersinking, chipped the gel coat quite nicely. 2.5mm with a countersink, that worked well as well, and 3mm with a countersink also worked well. However, that one's a little bit looser. These screws, they recommend a 2.3 to 2.9mm hole, so I think 2.5mm is the one that we're going to go with. So next what we need to do is we've cut our black plastic, HDPE plastic to length. So what we're going to do now is we've just got this set up with a clamp just to centre it, and then what we'll do is we'll pop some holes in. Initially we're just going to run, I think it's 5 or 6 holes in here just for the dry fit, and then when we come to do the final fit we'll put more screws in. So we are sliding, guys. We've got all of our rails fixed, all the screws in, all down the length here on both sides, and this runs, because we've got these stainless steel bearings in here, Richard will give us a quick demonstration. This just rolls really nicely. In fact, actually rolls under gravity once it gets to a certain point. There you go. So that is running really nicely. Our old track never ran this smooth. You always had to grab it in the middle, whereas here you can grab it right on the end and it still rolls nicely. Put it under pressure and put some weight on it and it still rolls really nicely. So this track has worked out really well. The only slight snag we've got at the moment is that we've got a joint at the back, which I can show you. So there's a joint in the track here, because you can only buy the track in 2 metre lengths, and we've got this side really nicely lined up, but you can still feel it as the car goes through that. It just sort of, you can feel it running over a little hump. So we think what we might need to do is perhaps have a little chamfer or something machined onto here. But on the other side, unfortunately, we didn't line it up quite as well. It's probably only a millimetre out. You can see that on the camera, it's just slightly out. In fact, on here, oh, there you go, it's loose. But yeah, it was slightly out. Sorry, I've taken some screws out actually, but it was just slightly out, probably about maybe half a millimetre, and then it was just catching. So we're going to have to come up with a solution for that. We're not sure what that is yet. We could either epoxy these holes and retry again, although there's always going to be, it's just a little bit raised here. So we're actually wondering whether we can machine a hole in each side of the track and then put like a brass pin in it which will hold it together. So we're going to talk to an engineering company about that, because this track does rely just on being buttered up together. So and there's no tolerance at all when the car's moving along it. So we'll look at that. But overall, really happy with the way that that's turned out. So we'll be able to get the other beams on now, probably get these beams anodized in black, I think is the plan at the moment. And then that once we've got those back pieces sorted, that is pretty much this roof sorted. The only other compromise that we've made is that because the cars are slightly longer, I think 120 millimeters versus maybe about 70 or 80 millimeters, the roof doesn't quite open quite as much. But you know what, I think that's a compromise we're prepared to tolerate, given that the sliding system works much better. And we probably lost about 8 inches or 200 mil of sort of opening, but it's a big opening anyway. It's 3 meters, I think it is. So I don't think 200 millimeters in the whole scheme of things really matters. Okay, that's going to be a wrap for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.